Hi Virgo, and welcome to your energy reading for the week beginning Monday, the 10th of April. For this mini reading, I'm going to pull 2 cards from my Mythic Tarot and then 1 card from my Betty Boop private collection. Hopefully the 3 messages will come together to give us some insight on some of the energy or one of the energies that we're working with this week, or one situation that needs some attention. So we're going to have 2 cards for Virgo for the week beginning 10th of April 2017. And 1 card from the Betty Boop. Virgo, 10th of April 2017. And we have Temperance. So straight off the bat, Virgo, there may be a Sagittarian around us at the moment, or something happening in the Sagittarius time period. Maybe something happened in the Sagittarian time period last cycle, which I believe Sagittarius are end of November, beginning of December. Temperance talks about balance, talks about healing, talks about patience, talks about going with the flow, accepting what is and letting go of what isn't. Let's see what other cards we've got. We've got the 9 of Swords and the Moon. Ooh, that's a lot of mental energy this week. Looking at this, I think we're already coming into the week and we've got a lot of anguish over something. Maybe we've got a lot of anguish altogether. Everything just seems to be getting on top of us all at once. The 9 of Swords is a card that's usually depicted where someone's laid down and all the swords are laid above them, and they talk of sleepless nights, anxiety, negative self-talk, negative reactions to things, but basically it's a prison of the mind, and it's our own doing. We're letting our thoughts and how we think about things blow out of proportion, worrying about things we don't even need to worry about here, and we're making ourselves in such a physical state over it. And it can literally be a physical state. We feel a bit ragged and torn internally because of the battles we're having within our own mind. Swords also can talk to communication, so maybe there's been some bad communications that have helped get to this situation too. The thing with this card is it's telling us that whatever we're thinking about, we are creating. And with this card, when I look at it, I think the advice for it is, this is the card where we've got to just sit back and think to ourselves, our brain is no more important to our body than our heart. It is an organ, the same as our art, and it's a tool within our human toolbox that we've been given to use. And a fantastic tool, absolutely amazing tool. What our mind is capable of is phenomenal. But when we're not actually conscious of our thoughts and our reactions to things, and we let things hit us emotionally and throw us off balance, and then we're not actually in control of our mind, because we let ego come in and start talking for us. We let fear come in and start talking for us, and we think that's our logic, that's our brain, that's our mind. And both these things, ego only wants what looks glorious and looks good and gives status, and fear just doesn't want you to change, doesn't want to try anything new. He's quite content sitting in the cosy chair and never moving again. The mind doesn't like change. And it's time to change with this card. It's the card that finally says, right, enough's enough. I know what I've gone through in the past, and I know I've put myself through the ringer over situations that didn't bother. I shouldn't have paid mind to. It wasn't that important. I will no longer do that. So even though it portrays and is received as a negative card a lot of the times, I think it's so positive, because it's having the clarity in your head of, I've done this enough. I know I've took myself in circles worrying about all these things. The more I worry about them, the more things I get to worry about. I have now got to change the way I think about me. I've got to forgive myself, stop battering myself for things that I've gone, things I said, things I did, and other people. I've got to stop worrying about things unnecessarily and clear the board to move on. Now, Temperance talks very much about this. When we're in this sort of energy and don't know where to turn, Temperance is the answer. Temperance is the answer. Find balance. There may actually be a chakra balancing or chakra cleaning that needs to be done this week. There may be trouble in communications. There may be trouble in thoughts. So it probably would be worth doing a chakra balancing, chakra cleansing, but getting yourself in balance. Temperance talks about having the lower chakras, the masculine chakras, in line and well balanced with the feminine higher chakras. So we are in touch with our intuition rather than our mental mind mash. But we are still well grounded. So we're not going to be uprooted very easily. As I say, we talk of balance, we talk of a lot of healing. Well, if you've been or are in this mental state at the minute, the healing is what is needed. The clarity of thought, the realisation of how much self-harm we are causing ourselves in this card is what gets us through and gives us hope and an understanding that we can go on and go on in a lot better place. As I say, that does talk to a Sagittarius too. The next card is the Moon, and the Moon talks of Pisces. But in general, I would say a water sign. So there could be a water sign, or there could be someone of a very spiritual, psychic sort of nature around you. The Moon talks of confusion, talks of secrets and things being hidden. Oh, a dog's got 3 heads, so he can look in every direction and keep her protected. She has the Moon on her head, but look at the enlightenment that's coming from this Moon. Nearly half this card is engulfed in light. There's a lot of connection here. There's a lot of your own intuition kicking in here. So get out of the mental mind mash by maybe doing some meditation, chakra clearing, bringing yourself into a good balanced diet even, that might mean. Gives you clarity to see through all the confusion. And if there is confusion because of all this, you actually know the answers. You know your thoughts have been right. You know your suspicions have been right. And clearing out your energy and finding your peaceful centre can bring you into the upper chakras kicking in, and you getting the answers you seek, knowing you were right about these situations, and it's time to just lay them down and lay them to rest. And as I say, this card talks to a Pisces, but on the moon card, I got my hand on him, we've got a little crab there, so there could be a Cancerian in the mist, but it could be anybody who's showing these traits of a connection, but I think it's more your own intuition and your own connection. From the bottom of the deck, we have the Ten of Swords, so instantly we've got a natural progression from the Nine of Swords to the Ten of Swords, which is brilliant. What I talked about here of understanding what these thoughts are doing, how you're playing mind games with yourself and bringing yourself out of that cycle by being at peace and getting yourself well aligned, maybe meditating, so you can hear the intuition that's being given to you and you can follow on that intuition. We get to the Ten of Swords, and the Ten of Swords is the ultimate realization. It's sort of a ha-ha, finally, I've done it. Tens revert back to one, so a 10 is a new beginning. But to do that new beginning, we've got to pull all these swords out of our back. The feelings of betrayal, the feelings of self-neglect, criticisms from others, everything that's hurt us and we're worried about and stressed about in this card, we finally say, enough's enough. Pulling them out, putting them down. I've done all I need to do on that cycle, and it's time to start again. She holds the Sword of Truth here and victory. So it is a pat on the back, a completion, and maybe finally we've got real clarity now. We've come through the confusion and the anxiety of an upset and found great balance. This balance, because it's Major Arcana, it's divine intervention. The universe has got your back. You know, the healing and the restoration that is put in here is all supported by the universe. We have to get from this mental mind state and playing tricks on ourselves, cut through the confusion and be able to put down this suit of swords for a new start on a new cycle round. So Virgo, we've got a lot going on in the mind this week, if not physically around us. There's a lot of mental mind chatter. The energies do look a little taxing, but in all honesty, the three sword cards that have come out are all engulfed by temperance, the balance, the stability, the go with the flow, the healing and acceptance of that card. Yeah, it's confusion, it's mind chatter, but it's finally putting everything down and not letting these things, and especially your own mind, hurt yourself anymore. Not running away from things that are hidden and pretending they don't exist, being quite open to look into it, see the truth of matters, and walking away if it's a need of walking away or walking away from the mindset of playing games with yourself. I hope you have a great week, Virgo. As I say, if there's anything in here that you want to discuss in any more depth, don't hesitate, get in touch with me, and I'll gladly talk through or even pull out some more cards regarding it. Have a great week and see you soon. Thank you.